What's the most unfair workplace perk you've ever seen hidden from employees? When I first joined this organization, I thought I had landed in a great place. The culture seemed progressive. The leadership loved to talk about flexibility, and the phrase family-friendly popped up at nearly every meeting. I didn't mind. I don't have kids, but I've always believed parents deserve extra support. They're juggling a lot. Then one day, a colleague who was leaving the company invited me out for coffee. I figured it was just a farewell chat. Instead, they leaned across the table and said, "I can't leave without telling someone the truth." What they revealed floored me. Our company had been running a secret program called Family Benefits. It wasn't in the handbook, never mentioned during onboarding, and participants were told not to discuss it with child-free employees to avoid tension. In reality, leadership just didn't want us to know how bad the difference was. Parents were handed 10 extra days of PTO every year. They got free gym memberships for themselves, their spouses, and their kids, while the rest of us only got half off, and our spouses got nothing. They could work remotely whenever schools were closed, including the entire summer, while the official policy for everyone else was just one remote day per week. When we volunteered at weekend events, non-parents had to show up to earn comp time. Parents could cancel last minute due to childcare and still keep their comp day. If the event was child-focused, they didn't have to volunteer at all. They got to attend as guests and still received comp time. There were also secret discounts, not just at kid-centric places, but everyday things like ride-sharing apps, movie theaters, and chain stores. They received an extra $100 every month in commuting funds. And their retirement match? Double ours. Parents got up to 5%, while the rest of us only got 2.5%. All told, my colleague estimated that as a parent of 2 kids, they were receiving nearly $18,000 in extra perks every year, plus the huge advantage of time and flexibility. I left that meeting sick to my stomach. I'd supported flexibility, but this wasn't flexibility. It was discrimination, and it was being hidden from us. Once I knew, I couldn't unsee it. During the summer, most parents breezed into the office one day a week, while the rest of us commuted daily. At events, people skipped shifts and still got credit. My boss, famous for dumping weekend work on me, regularly logged off at 2 p.m. to pick up their kids, leaving the unfinished projects on my desk. We even had a nickname for them, NWC, No White Clothes, because you'd never spot them in the office between Memorial Day and Labor Day. I finally confided in 2 child-free coworkers and 1 parent I trusted. The parent admitted they'd received the benefits, but said it was framed as use discretion so money doesn't interfere with teamwork. The child-free colleagues were livid. Together, we drafted an email to HR and our managers. We laid out everything we knew and made it clear. Fix the inequity or we'd bring it to the entire staff and an employment lawyer. Suddenly, directors and executives were holding emergency meetings. A few days later, an email went out saying benefits were being updated to match the changing needs of our organization. They never admitted the truth, but the changes spoke for themselves. Extra time off became universal. Comp time required completing a shift. Summers were now 1 mandatory in-office day for everyone, 4 remote. For the first time, things felt fairer, but not everything changed. Non-parents still couldn't get couples gym memberships. Leaving early without PTO was still only for school pickups. And the retirement match? Still double for parents. Leadership argued parents needed more in retirement because adult children often rely on them financially. That flimsy excuse only fueled more outrage. The fallout was brutal. Non-parents organized a collective refusal to return to the office. Parents who were disgusted by the secrecy quit in protest. The executive who had spearheaded the hidden benefits resigned. The company was suddenly in chaos. I had already been interviewing elsewhere. When I finally handed in my notice, my boss, the infamous NWC, retaliated by dumping over 120 hours of work on me, expecting it done in 10 days. Luckily, I had 2 lawyers in my circle. With their help, I drafted a retaliation claim email. Within an hour, HR called to say my work was reassigned and I could log off permanently after handing over a transition document with full pay and vacation payout for the rest of my notice period. I walked away into paid fun employment, sipping drinks with my wife at 2 p.m. on a Tuesday. Meanwhile, the company was left scrambling, their carefully hidden favoritism dragged into the open for everyone to see.